if you're listening, which I hope you are, because this next one, it's for you, babe.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Harris Peak Podcast. I am your host, Chris, and I am here with two Stranger Things. It's Mike and James. How you guys doing?
Oh, pause on that one. Two Stranger Things. I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm okay.
It's
Just hanging in there.
2026, and I'm still free, and Mike's still in Canada.
Yeah, I just want to say before we start, fuck ice. I said fuck ice.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
You heard me.
Ice.
Okay.
Yeah.
No objections from me.
Fuck those guys.
Okay, let's do this. We are talking Stranger Things. We're going to do a season 5 review, and then because it's over, there is no more episodes. There's no more hidden seasons. There's no more extras coming out. We will be grading the entire series, all 5 seasons.
Well, we didn't.
At the end.
The documentary came out yesterday. The making of season 5.
I actually didn't watch it.
We don't care.
I didn't get around to watching it.
We don't care.
All
The only
I-
thing
all
that
I
came
saw
out of
was,
the
like, we didn't
documentary,
have-
the only thing
have
that
it
came
written
out
at
of that
the end.
documentary was the controversy. Mike might know. I don't think Chris knows. Is that there's a screen where they're showing the Duffy brothers or their laptops, and you can see Chat GPT tab.
open.
So obviously the internet's been going crazy. Oh, that explains the poor quality of season 5. It was ChatGPT and Chris,
Yeah.
right within
Well,
your wheelhouse, AI taking money away from creative writers.
Well, if you're calling the season 5 the worst season, then you hate AI too.
I hate ChatGPT AI, not the other competitive ones such as AI, Gemini.
Well, before that, there was the he got divorced. One of the brothers got divorced, and his writer wife left him before season 5. And people are like, well, maybe she was ghostwriting some of the better parts. So there's been a lot of.
This is like Drake. This is like
rumors.
Drake Kendrick. This is like Drake and Kendrick.
People looking for reasons and for purposes for why they don't like it. But we got what we got, and we're going to talk about that. All right, so let's do this. So Stranger Things, came out. Let's hear, what year was it? 2016. Wow. So the world was a little bit more normal, and it was about to go a little crazy, but we got Stranger Things out of it. I don't think that's a great trade.
So wait, can we blame Stranger Things for what happened in the world?
No.
Well,
we have to blame.
It was the Cubs winning, I think, is what people are agreeing was the actual catalyst to get us into the upside down. And people are saying that if the Bears win in 2026, that will break the curse cycle.
Maybe. Yeah, but I still think it was because they killed Harambe. That was our plan.
You're stupid. No, guys, it was actually in 2019 when Steve Rogers went back in time in Endgame and put those stones. He fucked up somehow, and this is what we're at.
Well,
because my man didn't, because he didn't go save JFK. He was just like,
because immediately thereafter we had COVID, and you know the rest.
All right, so here we go. So it's been a long time, a long road since 2016 to season 5 here, but we're gonna just review this part first, and then we'll get around to it. So I guess what we'll start with was, did you really like the previous 4 seasons, and were you interested, or were you just watching season 5 just because it was like, okay, I've seen these and I want to finish it? So were you guys like interested, excited? What was your like state of mind going into season 5? Mike, I'll let you start.
Yeah, for sure. Season 4 ended. I thought season 4 was great. the one of the great parts was Eddie saving his
Iconic.
buddy. Yeah, and playing Metallica on the roof of the trailer. I love that scene.
It's funny because you see things are popping up from that time, and like Ed, the actor actually learning to play the song from
Hmm.
Metallica was
Yeah, yeah,
So
and then at the end we had the Earth opening up and all the rifts forming and stuff like that, and I was like, yeah, man, it's gonna be a hell of a season 5, right?
Mhm.
Can't wait till next year.
Wait,
So
what year did season 4 come out? Was it 2 years ago or was it three?
that's a
I
good
think it was
question.
like
Let's
at
see.
least 2 years, if not three.
2022.
Yeah, three.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty close to three. Okay, what about you, James?
Um, I'll be honest. This to me was kind of remind me of Game of Thrones, right? Each season was better and better and better until we got to season 6. I think was probably the, if not, I know season 3 usually is considered to be one of the best of all Game of Thrones, but we left off going towards what we knew. And Chris, you weren't watching it season by season, but at the
Right.
conclusion of season 5, it was announced there'd be 2 more seasons that wrap up the whole show, right? I think the writer's strike got caught up somewhere in there, whatever. But the point is, everyone went into at least the final season, if not 7, definitely 8, thinking, okay, this show was probably the best show of all time. We've seen some hiccups in the previous season, but it can only go good from here, right? Like we went in with the trailers, everybody was excited. People were doing watch parties. I think Stranger Things was probably the most recent version of the Game of Thrones phenomena of group TV watching, right? They did it a little bit differently, right? They tweaked the formula where they give you these arcs, and it was around the holidays, so people are home anyway and they're watching it. And then I saw immediately YouTube, not us though, not us. A bunch of other YouTube content creators were coming out like this, like at 12:01, they're already dropping these reviews, and people were talking about it. Like the average person who watches general television
Mm.
was at least talking about Stranger Things about to be released. So the anticipation was crazy, and you know, nothing more to add to that.
Yeah, I think overall it's since it is one of those shows. Um, it did find its way into the general populace as opposed to we've watched shows disappearing on Disney Plus that we liked or didn't like or whatever, and they're like, "Ooh, that's got like a couple of million views," but like Stranger Things got to the point where they're like opening stores in New York City and shit. Like, um,
Yeah.
you know, you can buy Christmas ornaments with the kids on them, and it reached that level, and um, though there's also this sort of current tiredness from the public about the length in between seasons that I think prevented it from being even bigger. Like if it was, you know, a year in between season 4 and season 5. So if this came out in 2024, I think it would have been twice as big. You know what I mean? I think people are getting kind of upset with these really long lags in between these things they're enjoying watching, and then they're like, "What was that about?" So,
I'm not sure if this is a topic you're going to be discussing later, but I mean, there is some credit to that. The fact is, the long delays in between these seasons negatively impact the show for a couple of reasons. For 2 reasons only. I don't want to get long winded. One is the memory of the emotional connection you had isn't as recent. It's not even like the previous year. It is now 2 years, perhaps 3 years. So you have to go back in time and remember where you were at when you
mhm,
saw Eddie. If you're not one of those avid viewers rewatching it every quarter,
mhm,
it's going to be not as fresh. So the emotional connection you had won't be as strong as if it was the old timeline of watching TV, appointment TV. The other thing is the actors themselves, which is probably something unforeseen, is between 2016 and 2026. Let's be honest, these actors have aged the hell out of themselves to the point where it's like, and I didn't realize it until I was doing a quick little prep yesterday or today that the Holly character, which was phenomenal in this season, probably one of the better characters, it's a different actress than season 4 because that character was supposed to be 7 at the time. What I mean, whoever character was supposed to be,
She was a baby.
yeah, it just didn't match. So, so there's things like that you're just like you just have to suspend so much disbelief. When I look at Lucas and his terrible haircut,
Now
when I look
Lucas's
at
sister, that poor actress had to like they were acting like she was like what 12, and she's kind of
she was a full grown black woman, and that's all I'm gonna say. But the point is, it makes it impacts the show subconsciously as you're watching it.
yeah. I would
Whereas
agree with that.
other types of shows don't have to run into these long delays and these. Lost is probably the only example of one character, Walt. But that's a microcosm to the problem that Stranger Things
And
had.
I think most of the actors you can kind of okay, like looking at my own kids, like if you look at their senior photo and you look at them when they were 11, obviously like it's a huge difference. So you expect that kid to be all grown and everything. But at the end of the show, when they're like 18 months later, they're graduating. I'm like, wait, they weren't seniors at least? They were trying to pretend those were sophomores. I'm like, oh, okay, that was worse than I thought.
Yo, Will look like Josh Allen out there. I was like, and that final episode when he's doing the game and he's doing a little flashback, when you see him stand up, I'm like, oh my god, this fucking Buffalo Bills quarterback here.
So, all right. So I kind of there's a lot to go over, but I think the most important thing that I think comes out of this show, or what I would think that for me, the thing that works the best in this show from season to season is the mix and match relationships, like the duos that they create each season. And I mentioned this even after the first couple of episodes that we watched before Christmas. The Will and Robin pairing made a big difference this season, and I thought that was like the best new pairing that they were able to come up with. It really helped the Will character specifically, which was one of, surprisingly for me as I went back and thought about it, like one of the least interesting characters for me throughout the other 4 seasons, even though he's supposed to be like the main not quite the main protagonist, but like one of the main protagonists next to 11. And I just realized how little I really thought about that character a lot until this season. Did you guys have a specific like set this season that you really thought worked for you?
Let me go first this time, Mike. You're gonna surprise to hear my answer because those who've been watching this podcast and know me is I'm not a fan of child actors.
None of these are children anymore. It's okay. You can like them.
However, the child slash full teenage kids playing Holly and Derek, to me, those two particular characters were MVPs of this season for me. And I'm not sure if that was intentional by the Duffer Brothers or just because the way I connected with this particular season 5 story and arc is I found a lot more entertainment watching these two first at odds and then as a duo throughout the season 5, the 3 arcs and finale, whatever. Much more than I did any other duo. Because to me, the Max and Lucas duo was no duo. One of them was in coma, the other one was carrying her around. The Dustin and Steve duo got irritating to me from the first couple episodes. Mike and Will, 11 and whomever she happened to be paired with, Hopper, 8, Nancy, is a bunch of blah. But every time there was a scene with Holly and Derek, and yes, in the beginning, Derek was seen more as comic relief until he got more to eat and chew, no pun intended, in the final arc. Once you realize he knew what was really happening and he was with the cool team, his character to me was like even amplified for enjoyment. So I think that duo to me worked, and I'm not even sure if I can give credit to the show creators whether that was intentional or by accident, because it seems like everyone else's duo was probably what they were focusing on, and these two just happened to hit it out the park with their performances.
Well, I think a lot of like on-screen character relationships depend on the actors more, because like I remember going back to some other like Marvel movies, and you're like, oh wait, that two people who got 3 minutes of screen time, everybody loves that set, and everybody's like, the what was the one with the giant robots making the world? What the hell?
Eternals?
Eternals, yeah.
My God, are you even a nerd?
So
Get out of here!
everybody loved Makari, but Makari got like 10 seconds of screen time.
Yo,
You know what I mean?
Heroes Peak now is questionable.
My memory doesn't work very well. But
The
that
big
it,
space robots.
it doesn't really matter if that's the intention of the directors. It just happens. That's sort of like that chemistry with actors is just a thing. It can work and not work. So, Mike, did you have a pairing that really kicked it off for you?
No, I mean, I think I'm with you with Robin and Will, and a lot of people complained about Robin's character this season about basically talking too much, or
Well, she's the
I
best
forget what
actress
it
on the
was.
show, so I like give her all the lines.
Yeah,
Who plays
the way I
Robin
saw
again?
it was what
Robin, so it's Maya Hawke.
Maya Hawke.
Oh, yeah. Best
Yeah, and
actress. Yeah.
like people complained about a difference between season 4 and 5, and I was kind of like, but wait a minute, in season 4, she didn't know what was up. Like she was basically the outsider,
Mm-hmm.
and now she's comfortable with them. She's part of the family, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be surprised that she was opening up more to them and more comfortable with them, and basically just chatting away, right? So I don't know. I didn't understand the complaint there.
Well, and the way they use that character, like on the radio station, so she got a lot more play that way. You with bringing Will's character to where it was supposed to be, she got a lot of extra play that way. She's her and Steve are a cool duo, so she gets extra play that way. It just happens. Like she's just a really great actress, so I think she
So
gets.
it's not the duo. It's actually just Robin and
No, I
whomever.
think she brought. I really like that relationship between those. So like if I were to go back through all 5 seasons, so like I can see where Maya Hawke, like her and Steve were a great duo in season 1. So her and Will are a better or like their own duo in season 2 or in season 5. Or like whereas Steve and Dustin are a great duo in, season 1, season 2. So you can usually see where us actors work better with certain other actors, and I think,
Yeah, it's anyone not with 11. Gotcha.
uh see, I kind of like season 3, I think it is, where
The
11 and
mall
Hopper.
season.
No, that's where it's not the New
Oh,
York City season.
the
It's the one.
Russians.
No, it's the mall. It's
The mall. Oh, okay, that's what I said that the first time. Yeah,
Yeah,
my
yeah, I
bad.
think you're right. Um, where she's trying to kind of have her own little space, and he's trying to be a
Yeah.
dad, and he doesn't know how to be a dad to a teenager, kind of thing. I thought that worked well on screen a lot. Whereas this season, there's this discussion, unfortunately, about the actress more than there is about the character. Um, and people talked
No,
about whether
let's
or
not
not
sugarcoat it. Let's not sugarcoat it. Her
she
character
got
to
some
me was
surgery
her
or whatever.
character and the actress to me underperformed both.
Mm.
Least desirable entertainment for me of this season was 11's character and performance.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree. I mean, not because she was giving particularly bad performance, but kind of flat performance. Like
Yeah.
Thank you for your
I
honesty.
and with Hopper too, Like I felt like we were
He's right
back
there.
to we were back to season 1 Hopper where he's like, "Oh, I don't want to lose you." Like it felt
Yes.
like they backtracked those two. Like they hadn't grown in their relationship over these several years, and I'm like, I feel like we're kind of back at square one. And that constant, like, they were never working together, they were always working against each other, they always had their own thing they were trying to accomplish. Each of them was trying to sacrifice themselves. I felt like I was watching, you know, Supernatural again, where it's like, God, Jesus,
Hey, 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 hey! No
enough of you
blasphemy
two.
here. No blasphemy.
But
Dean and Sam did what they had to do for the sake of our universe and world.
like, I loved Hopper in previous seasons. This season just wasn't for either of them for me.
No objections from me.
Yeah.
Was there a best, like, there wasn't really any new characters. I don't think they had time to bring in new characters this season. Well, they did. What am I
Well,
talking about?
they did.
Holly and
Well,
Derek.
well,
Derek.
Holly technically isn't a new character, but the entire performance is new,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Mhm.
Derek is definitely new. Um,
So
yeah, there was a handful of new characters, but they weren't that significant enough to you remember. Like the whole army subplot with new characters there supporting Linda Hamilton's role.
all right. So I have a note
I
here
don't
about
care.
the army, the military in general, when it comes to this show as a whole and this season, and that's the military continues to be just a secondary bad guy.
Mhm.
Like it's more of an impediment to the gang rather than the big bad. Like I know that it feels weird because I know the original basis of the show was like the Montauk experiments, which is why you got all those little Easter eggs about Montauk. Um, but like all the scientists felt like, especially Linda Hamilton this season, was very just mustache twirling, gotta be evil
Stole the
bad
words
guy.
out of my mouth. You stole the words out of my mouth.
I mean, what did you guys see something I didn't over the past seasons? Like I know the Papa or whatever the initial bad guy, the scientist then. Like I just felt like the military just never got to be the cool evil government. Everything just shifted into horror entity final boss mode. We never got like anything that you could almost like twist as political even. Maybe that's what they were scared of.
Yeah, it was. So they were still kind of playing off the Cold War of the times in the show.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of, we have to beat the Russians at, controlling these demons or whatever it was, or the technology, the psychic powers and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Linda Hamilton came off as like cartoon villain, like level kind of bad. So
Dude, you watched what's our favorite Resident Alien?
yeah,
Her in that show, it's like almost a mirror image of this character,
yeah,
which
I,
is
I
not
remember
good.
noticed that. Yeah.
It's like again, she's part of a government group with aliens and trying to figure out how to use it to whatever. The world it's maybe more diluted in the show Resident Alien than this. This is like a more amplified version of that
Yeah.
same role that she's playing with a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's yeah. I mean, I'm just adding to your point, Mike.
I mean, I don't like, to be honest. She's never really been that great of an actress to begin with.
See, I'm trying to be nice.
I know you're trying to be nice,
Wow.
and they're casting these cast. Their casting of her in these shows is mostly nostalgia bait, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
so.
I mean, it's fine, but even looking at Matthew Modine, that was who played the
Yeah,
Mhm.
Papa.
scientist.
He played Papa.
Yeah.
But if you just look at it, I would have thought if you went back, if you took out the whole thing about the baby, the pregnant women being fed the blood and blah blah blah, would that really have changed the show? If you just wiped that section out. Would that have changed
I
the
think
show at all?
I don't think it would have changed the show. It would have definitely impacted Eleven's character's backstory more so than the other rest of the characters, because we forget, because you didn't mention it. The Mind Flayer was the OG big bad, right? Season one, the Mind Flayer from the D&D campaign, and it wasn't even the military, although they had access to military grade fucking weapons and vehicles. It was like the evil scientist group, in the 80s that existed. The Umbrella, whatever. It was that group with Papa
Mm-hmm.
that 11 escaped from, and 11 now is connected to the D&D crew and the Mind Flayer. That's how the whole thing was like a little closed loop. But the season 4, or whatever it was, that introduced like this multinational or multi-militaristic Cobra, whatever it is, and then Vecna, it changed the whole dynamic of how we all saw the show. And then I think that just to close the loop, no pun intended, on what we're talking about here, new characters. I mean, Linda Hamilton definitely did not do anyone service her role. Despite how great the kids are, the new actress playing Holly Wheeler and a young actor playing Derek, for the most part, anyone else who was new in this season didn't add anything to the show. And I'm kind of okay with that, because that's not my major gripe. Is about how did people come into season 5, how they perform or not perform. My issue is just season 5, the way it was written, the way it was performed, directed, and in a way it concluded the series. That's my major gripe.
I guess for me, it would be, I thought it was okay. But I enjoyed getting closure on the characters. I enjoy that they took the really long, kind of saccharine ending, the happy ending thing.
Right. Yeah.
I'm glad they got to put multiple hours into finishing the story rather than shows are like, oh my god, I know we have like 6 seasons, but it's canceled, so you get a 1-hour movie to finish it. Like, that's all you get. They didn't do that. They didn't rush it. We can talk about whether or not they didn't like hit a home run with it for me, but it was solid. It was all right. And the finale itself, the last half of the finale, kind of did it for me, and it kind of left a good taste for the whole thing. So like, I can go back and forth and talk about whether or not the story, the particulars of the story worked really well, whether or not this actor or that actor was at their best or they were better in previous seasons. But I think overall, I was just happy to get a constructed ending.
So it almost has, you almost have to ask the question, did they make season 5 too long then? Because at that point, you've got these really long episodes, and you've got to fill it with all this other stuff that people probably don't like. You know what I mean? So
I don't know. It's tough. So, like,
They make it too
let's
long.
take the
There
kind
was
of
9 episodes in a previous season, Mike.
what's that?
You're asking if they made it too long. I'm just looking here. We had 9 episodes in season 4.
Yeah, we had how many in this season? 5. Sorry, 8.
yeah.
Yeah, we had
The
8.
last one was basically 2.
We had 8, and each one was basically 2 hours long.
No, they were not. They were not 2 hours long. The
Oh,
finale
they were
might have been
close.
2 hours long.
But yeah, they were pretty close to 2 hours.
All right, then I stand corrected. Maybe they did make it. All right.
They were they were long, but like they had the story they wanted to get through, and
Yeah.
we could talk about, they could edit that down to be tighter. Like, for me, let's take the whole final fight. It's probably the least interesting thing about this entire
The
season.
nadir of the show.
And I think they missed a trick, because I was like, okay, so 11's gonna fight in his mind. Will's gonna like take over one of the monsters and fight, and then the other kids are gonna fight him physically, his body. They're gonna shoot him. They're gonna hit him with baseball bats, whatever. And I was like, okay, they're gonna fight Vecna. But then there was like the big giant monster that you don't actually fight. You just stand next to a green screen, and
Which was supposed to be the real big bad.
throw
Everyone
things.
was thinking.
And 11 and Vecna doing the Saruman and Gandalf fight, where they just kind of toss each other around, a room that doesn't, one actually is getting hurt. I don't know. I think that was probably the least interesting part of the whole thing. The introduction to the wormhole, fine. I guess it's enough.
I mean, we always knew we had a wormhole. We just didn't know that it was a wormhole.
Right.
The upside down is what we've been calling it since season
Yeah.
1. Now we realize, it's not really upside down. It's an in-betweener.
It's a bridge, right?
But
And then, the whole thing with the mind flare, like, because in the other seasons they had us to believe that Vecna was the big bad boss, right?
well, yeah,
And
you
the flare
like
was-
kind of had flashes of the mind flayer once or twice,
Yeah.
and but you're right. I thought
And then they kind of flipped it, yeah.
but you fought
Yeah.
Vecna and the mind flayer simultaneously, and when you killed Vecna, you
Mhm.
killed the mind flayer.
Incorrect.
So was it?
Let's not rewrite this, guys. Because I remember this part very clearly. When the original bad was the mind flayer, right? Forget about the
Yeah.
military scientist, whatever. And
Right.
then it was revealed that Vecna, in
Yeah.
fact, Dustin said it himself. It's been him all along. He's the real. I forgot the end of season 2 or season 3.
Season
Sorry,
3,
which one it was.
Yeah, it was season 3.
So then we were led to believe, Vecna is the
Right.
guy.
That's
And
what I'm
then
saying.
then we learned about who Vecna was and the fact
Right.
he was human, and then he got transported into the upside down world and converted the upside down world. And he used his powers and he became the big bad. But
Mhm.
then these last two this season, we realized, oh no, we were all wrong. No, he wasn't even in the upside down world. He was an in between world, and at one point he was in the other world. And you think he's working for this mind flayer, but he actually wants to bring everybody to. Dude,
It
the
got
season
over
1, 2, 3 arc was
Yeah.
pretty solid and probably one of the best villain type of arcs with like a young adult theme. I think they got ahead of themselves with either fan theories online or whatever it was. They got too filling themselves, and they bloated this whole big bad villain thing. And then they threw in the military. Oh, the military is going to use this against Russia. I'm like, how? Like the Demogorgons are killing them easily. How are they going to control this shit? Like,
right, guy. They're like, we're gonna make a whole base, but every time a Demogorgon got near the base, they just killed like 20 guys. Like the guns didn't stop it, so like I'm not.
No, I think the plan was they needed a kid like 11 to become a new Vecna to control the demons, right?
But okay, if you look at that plan,
Something like that.
I get
yeah.
that plan, but
Mhm.
you pick up the girl, you've got these dozen women, and they're pregnant. How
Mhm.
long is your runway before Vecna decides to just take your base out?
Yeah.
Can you wait the 12 years it's going to take to have these kids
or
make sure they have powers?
Or Chris, what evidence do you have that these 12 babies will be doing your bidding if you've lost everyone before that? You lost Vecna, you lost 11, you lost 8. None of them were obeying your authorities when they realized that they were old enough that they had enough power.
They technically had zero success with this.
But this is the one that's going to work, guys.
And we won't know it will work until 12 years from now.
All right, but yeah, I'm sorry, I don't want to beat that point to the death.
No, I get it. Like it got confusing. I'm not sitting here saying it was an A+ show for me, but I did enjoy watching it. It's one of those shows that it's better watching than reviewing, because you're just sitting there, you're enjoying some acting, you're enjoying some characters you like, you're kind of into the 80s nostalgia, kids on bicycles, that
which
kind
we
of
missed.
stuff.
We missed that in season 5.
Well, okay, yeah.
The
I think
closest-
maybe
the
that's
closest
why
one you-
maybe that's why you liked Holly and Derek so much, is because
Thank you.
They-
All right, that's where I was going to say.
yeah, go
The
ahead.
younger class, the X-Men, whatever you want to call them, they brought back some of that nostalgia and charm that we had in seasons 1, 2, 3. They definitely did, and maybe that's why I personally gravitated towards Holly and Derek's character, both as a duo and on their own little side quest, more than anyone else on the show. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I would say I gravitated towards the Will and Robin stuff because I felt it was the most real emotional arc of the whole thing. Like, I mean, it could have been Hopper and 11, but that just wasn't working this season. You know, Will and his mom, it wasn't. It was okay, but like it wasn't doing big numbers for me. Steve and Will's brother, like I never even remember.
Oh,
his name.
Jonathan.
Yeah, that rivalry wasn't doing anything.
Yo, Jonathan, my God, that's another character I want to put it near the bottom with the Hopper and 11.
Yeah, so it's like a lot of that stuff wasn't working as well for me this season, and I thought that Will and Robin relationship, and specifically like speaking of Will's coming out, it might have felt a bit clunky, but in an age where, like I said, they kind of avoided politics and stuff like that, in an age where companies like Disney are purposely like jettisoning LGBTQ content out of their stuff, rejecting it, having directors cut it. I think that was pretty cool that we got to see something. They took a whole scene and they just dedicated it to that part. And
All
I
right.
thought that was
Put my
that was
woke hat
cool.
on. First of all, it's very obvious that we are three cisgendered males here. Maybe not very obvious. Let's for the audience listening or watching us.
We are.
So I'm not going to pretend to
Oh,
understand the impact, both pro and con, of what that story meant. His character coming out and the predating that with the conversation he had with Robbie to help him understand, and then Vecna getting to his mind to threaten him. If you don't follow me now, I'm gonna snitch on you. Um, that again, I'm giving the grace and respect that it would, me being a heterosexual male, but in the context of the story and the plot and the scene, I think it was over. It was bloated. It didn't make sense other than at face value to give this character a moment to come out in their sexuality. And in a span where tense moments were happening before, and tense moments would happen immediately thereafter. Even the way the camera pans everyone's face,
yeah.
and then you see the Will, and then okay. So let me not suspend too much disbelief, knowing that this is the mid '80s in America, middle America. At this conversation, I expected at least Hopper to be like, "The fuck you talking about? What? What is he talking about, guys?" At least something like that, and then maybe like Archie Bunker it. That to me would have been okay. All right, this was probably a little too much, but it fits in the context of the show and these characters. All right, cool, bravo.
Yeah,
But no, we got the way it was shot was on purpose with the intent to make this scene like an Oscar worthy. This is like for your consideration, Golden Globes. Here's this scene.
I would agree with you. It was awkward. It was clunky. It was overdrawn. But I still think it was important.
Yes.
But I will.
I'm not saying it was important. I just think it was executed terribly.
Well,
right.
And,
can I just jump in? I still think that the coming out was necessary. It was just poorly done. It could have been done a little better.
And I think one of the weird things, I see a lot of people who were like, "Yeah, this was it came out of nowhere," and I'm like, "This definitely did not come out of nowhere."
Then there's the whole MAGA side, right? Yeah. Oh man, why they gotta overwoke this damn show?
I'm like, if you didn't notice this 3 seasons ago, guy.
There's a meme out here where he's crying, looking at the window after he tried to confess his love.
Yeah,
if you didn't catch it by then, that's on you.
But
yeah.
So I guess if there's any last thing I'll say that I wanted to mention about this season, and that is the Henry, uh, the Vecna Henry thing, and that is allowing the bad guy to make a choice to express that he chose this evil path, because like I just watched My Hero Academia's finale, multiple finales, and the villains are infantilized to the point where they're like in the memory going back, saving the child that is the villain, and then the hero, like when he's heroing, he looks over and sees the almost like the force ghost of the villain, who's like, I'm proud of you. So I'm like, what the hell is this? You I was glad they let the villain be the villain and say, I chose this path. And then you can just fight the villain as a villain. No Star Wars redemption.
Attic.
No Vecna saying, you're right, I should fight the Mind Flayer with you. Like they could have gone some
You
horrible
got the
routes.
full Killmonger
Right.
ending. Hey, I'm gonna break the fourth wall here as Deadpool. Mike, you should take that snippet of Chris when he's connecting My Hero Academia and tag My Hero Academia and post that and watch our freaking numbers balloon. Like what? My Hero Academia review? Gotcha, suckers. Stranger Things.
It really bugged me. Like, and I know it's an anime thing.
But I do agree with you, by the way, on Stranger Things. My Hero Academia. Stranger Things, yeah, they try to give us the, maybe they'll try to turn him around and he'll fight the Mind Flayer, the real big bad that we all thought, or at least he'll sacrifice himself to save the team or some shit like that. Yeah,
right.
that would have
11,
been like,
you're my sister. I should have done more. No,
eh,
he was just an evil kid.
stay with us one last time, brother.
All right, so just kind of let's give our final overall feelings for this season, and
Oh, right on cue.
and maybe the show, if you really feel like tossing that much out there, and then a grade for, we're gonna do the grade for the show, grade for the season, grade for the show. Your final thoughts overall.
Mike, you go first, buddy.
Yeah, overall, I still enjoyed the season. It was good closure to the show. Took too long to come out. The kids looked like they were ready for retirement. So
Jonathan did. Holy shit.
yeah. And Nancy still kicked ass, by the way. Love
Nancy's
Nancy.
a fun character to
Yeah.
watch, but she never gets anything more than just being
Yeah,
the kid.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. She was just action eye candy.
Yeah. Like for the season, I think I'm gonna go like a B minus. So, and then for the overall show, it's probably a B plus.
All right, James, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
No, I'll go. I'll leave you the honor of last. But I actually agree with the overall show grade of a B plus. I do agree with Mike there. It probably would have been higher depending how this season went, but it's very obvious I was not pleased with this season. I was greatly disappointed, and it's perfect that we are recording this podcast with some time between me watching the finale New Year's Eve night day, whatever you want to call it, on and then recording our podcast. My grade went slightly from being in the basement to marginal, and I think this season to me is a C minus,
Ooh.
which tells you had this season been close to any of the season 4 I think was their best season 4. You had Max with the running up the hill. You had the big Vecna Mind Flayer reveal. What you had season 4, and then Eddie in the Bat.
Yeah.
That shit was like, so that show could have been an A for me. Would have been in my top 10 of all time until season 5. So being honest and genuine with myself, I'm gonna give this season the grade that I believe it deserves, which is a C minus, but land a nice big B plus overall for the show. I have no further takes. I'll never talk of the show again.
Oh.
And thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen. Chris,
All
your
right.
honor.
So, um, it's been so long watching this show that you kind of forget details. Things get lost. It's been a decade. A lot of things have come and gone. But this show does have things that stick with you. Specifically like scenes, characters, bits of dialogue, bits of music that will forever kind of link to this. And I think that says a lot about this show in general as a whole. But for me, a lot of that comes from season one. Like, seriously, the Christmas lights, the egg waffles, kids on bikes, Barb at the pool, like all of that stuff. But, you know, but there are great stuff that happened later. Eddie and the running up the hill, cool fight in the, hallway. That kind of stuff works. And I think I wish this season had more of that really memorable, visceral moment. And it unfortunately didn't quite live up to the previous seasons. But the ending really made it for me. The D&D game at the end, the D&D game, uh, the kids believing Eleven's alive, whether or not she is, like, it doesn't really even matter technically as a show whether she's alive or dead. It's like this really cool ending for that group, and to kind of end where they started. I really loved all of that. Like that whole hour or however long, 40 minutes it was, really kind of kicked my grade up for the season. I'm going to give it a straight B for the season. I really probably hang most of it on a great emotional ending. And as a total show, um, I think I'm going to go a little higher, go A minus. It wouldn't make my top 10 of all time, but I do think it's extremely memorable. The Duffer Brothers did a great thing kind of capturing a time period, a feeling, a storytelling style, a mishmash, but kind of their enough of their own uniqueness, and they found connection with the audience, and I think they should be applauded for what they did as a whole, even if they kind of stumbled a little bit near the end.
Right on. Seems like we're not that far apart when it comes to the overall show's grade. Two B
Yeah.
pluses and an A minus.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's all bits and pieces, and this could have been better, or this could have been worse, and you know, I think overall, I really enjoyed my time watching it, and I would probably watch it again. I know our like 10-year-old nephew started watching it before this season finale, and he had obviously hadn't been old enough to watch it prior to this. I think maybe 9 and 10-year-old area is when he started.
Does he even know what a D20 is?
Hmm.
Character sheets.
Well, I
That's fine.
I do wonder if that's really given a boost. Like after season one, you
Oh,
know,
it has.
you didn't get
YouTube.
you didn't get like a ton of it in the other seasons, but a lot of it this season.
I saw a lot since after season one to now. I've seen a lot of. This is me late night Friday night drinking and YouTube doom scrolling. Tons of campaigns that are out there post Stranger Things, and some of them are small, 3 4 people, 100 views, 200 views. Some of them 1,000, and then there's like a couple one. Keith sent me one. I might have shared it with you guys at one point where it's like celebrities come on, and it's like 100,000 views here and there. I have to attribute it to the Stranger Things of making these online D&D campaigns popular again. So, did we lose
Yep.
Chris? Oh, okay.
Chris, you there? Oh,
My sump pump went off. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought you went to the upside down world. Like, ah, shit, they got him. Vecna got him. Fuck.
No, Vecna's dead.
Vecna came back. Surprise!
That's right.
That's the surprise the directors are waiting to tell you. He
He
survived.
survived. Everybody was actually dead, and they were in the upside.
That was a body double, like a Doom bot. Oh my god! Speaking of Doom and Doom, yes, that was a body double. That wasn't a real Vecna. We were fooled.
Yeah. Well, now
That's
it's
why it was
over.
so easy.
Like,
That's why it was so easy to defeat him. It wasn't a real him.
well, I don't know. Every villain of a preteen horror or action movie gets defeated by teens. So, like,
Mhm.
what are you gonna do? They all do. It gets beat up by a group of kids.
Yeah, it is stupid. That's Stephen King at his worst.
in like
But
in like the sewer. He's just like
wait,
beating
time
up.
out for you Harry Potter fans, because I'm not one. He who should not be mentioned, Voldemort, goes to a crucible before they finally defeat him. They gotta collect the Horcruxes. Yo, it is a whole fucking Ninja Gaiden 2 with no losses type of campaign to defeat Voldemort. So we have seen it before in YA adult theme shows where the villain is given respect
Yeah,
at his demise.
I
But
I understand that they were trying to be like, okay, a lot of people are working together to defeat him, and it has been 5 seasons of work to get to this point. But I don't know. Like I said, it's probably the least memorable part of it. You know,
thank you.
I
That's
thought
all I needed to hear.
the
Chris,
more
that's all I needed to
the
hear.
more interesting part was like the whole mine shaft. Like, he can't go down there. It's the one place the villain can't
Right.
go. You know, that
I'm with you. I'm with you.
terrible
It's
memory
kryptonite.
thing. I thought that
The
was
villain's kryptonite,
interesting.
yes.
Alright.
But that's all, ladies and gents.
That is it. Like, so what would we talk about on our next trip here, guys? What's coming out? Wonder Man?
Wonder Man comes out on the 26th, I think.
Is that supposed to all release at once, or are we supposed to get weekly?
It's weekly. Oh, no. Time
It's
out.
all
No.
at once.
All at once. They're dumping it,
All
which
at
is not a
once.
good sign.
It's not a good
Because
time.
remember
January.
with Ironheart, the speculation was whether they're going to do the same or not. And they were like, well, if you do that, it's not going to be. But here we are with Ironheart. That's not a good sign.
I don't know.
And I just found out the main actor, Yaya, I always kill his name, is a fraternity brother of mine. So shout out to The Office.
Cool.
Mhm.
Get him on the podcast.
Oh, I wish. Pluribus, I'm sure that's coming down. We've all, the
We
three
should
of us,
talk about
finally
Pluribus.
finished that disaster of a Karen show.
Karen versus the Borg.
Yeah.
No, I think it was a good show. She did win what, Best Actress?
Yeah. In a
Yeah.
drama.
I mean, her performance was outstanding. That's not the issue with the show. Not her performance.
All right.
Well, we're gonna discuss it next week.
We'll
So.
discuss it next week,
Mhm.
which means you guys, I'll see you then. Everybody, see you next time.
Next time. See ya.
Bye.
Hey, Indigo made the beat.